Hello and welcome to this Factorio Space Age tutorial where I'm going to be teaching you how to create an amazing nuclear laser ship. This laser ship is going to have zero downtime, meaning it can go back and forth between planets without stopping to refuel, and it can carry a lot of cargo. Now, before we start, it will really help if you have a factory that creates this item, Space Platform Foundation, and a lot of it. And the only reason I can do this, I can afford this, is because I can get unlimited resources from the main bus. Talking of which, if you are interested to see how I turn this tiny miserly spaghetti factory into this amazing, beautiful, and huge factory that creates different science packs and also uses a lot of labs to go through the research fast, then I have a playlist for you where you can see how I go through that transition while explaining hundreds of different mechanics of the game Factorio. Now, let's go and let's build a new spaceship. Maxium, not like that. Maxium Nuclear Laser Ship. That's an epic name, isn't it? All right, we have our space platform ready in space. Now, the way we're going to do this tutorial is very easy, step by step. I prepared a few different blueprints. We're going to go through them one by one. And in each step, I'm going to be adding a few more details, which finally creates our amazing spaceship. And I'm going to explain what I have done in each step. So let's go. The first one, of course, it's all about the foundation. And you can tell a lot based on this foundation. So let me explain this a little bit. When we go from planet to planet, we move forward. We move in this direction. That's it. In Factorio Space Age, that's the only direction the spaceships move. And asteroids wandering in space will be coming down and colliding with us like this. So we want to have a very narrow spaceship, and we want to extend it this way if we want more space. So let's wait for the space foundations to come up and we'll continue from there. All right, the foundation is ready. As you can see, we have everything ready for the second blueprint. What is this about? Yeah, a lot of cargo base, because we want this spaceship to be able to carry a lot of items. Now, so far, it's tiny. How many? 59 stack of different items or slots, empty slots. And now we're expanding. We're expanding fast. So this gives us the opportunity to carry a lot of items. Simple. So far, very simple, right? Let's go to the third blueprint. Again, very simple. We have a lot of asteroid collectors all around, and there's a reason why I put a lot of these around, because I want to be able to catch as many things as I can. And that's one of the main factors that contributes to this spaceship not having to wait for refueling or anything. It can keep going and keep going with a steady pace, with a good speed. The average speed on this one, I think, is about 100 to 120 kilometers per second. And we'll be testing that at the end. So far, so good. Let's move on and get the next blueprint. Again, very simple. We want a conveyor belt or transport belt that carries stuff around. Now, for the purpose of this spaceship, I'm using the express transport belt, or blue belts, simply because they're faster and we have them. So why not use them at this stage of the game before leaving novice? All right, so that's the next stage. Before moving on to the next blueprint, let's wait for everything to arrive first. Perfect. As you can see, inserters are here. Items are being put on the belt and they just go around. And if you pay attention, there are no underground belts or no splitters. And the reason for that is because I want to be able to measure things without interruption. I want to know exactly how many of each item I have on this belt. And this circuit here does it. Now, these inserters, they help get rid of excess material. If we have ice chunks or oxide chunks, carbonic asteroids, and finally metallic asteroids. If we have more than 300 of these, they will just be taken and thrown out into space. At the same time, if for whatever reason, and this is part of my standard design, if we have any of these items, including the depleted uranium fuel cell, on this belt, they just go up, and that's it. Okay, and it will make sense in a little bit, but let's go and check out the next blueprint for now. Blueprint number 5. So we have done number 4. Now it's time for number 5. Okay, well, this seems like a lot, right? But it's not that complicated. It's about nuclear power. We have 2 reactors here connected to all these heat exchangers, and that's the upside of the spaceship, or north side of it. Now let's go down. Here seems a bit more complicated. We have these turbines, steam turbines, all across the spaceship, and we produce water using these 4 chemical plants. This crusher grabs asteroid chunks, puts it here, puts the ice back here. They grab it, they turn it into water, and they store it. And it's important to store some water because this spaceship is very thirsty all the time. Requires a lot of water. Why? Because we have 2 main uses for water. The first one is that we have to create fuel. Second one is that we have to power the nuclear power plant. So it's always a good idea to store some ice because we may not come across oxide asteroids often. How about these 4? These are for steam. When we put water inside these heat exchangers, they create a lot of steam. Now, steam means energy. And we do not always produce that because there are times where we might not find any ice or any water, and we might be shooting at different asteroids using a lot of power. So we need some storage. And instead of using accumulators, I'm just storing the steam itself, which is much more efficient in this case. All right, so what's gonna go here? Let's check it out in the next blueprint. But first, let's wait for this to finish. All right, so you can see that all these parts are being built now and we're producing water, but you might be asking yourself how we do not have any power, any nuclear power as of yet. That's why these panels are here for. They help us bootstrap our spaceship, and they are being used precisely only once. And that's it. The moment we have nuclear power, they'll never be used anymore. But in order to make that happen, we need one thing, and that is rocket supply. We need to get about 100, and that's an overkill, but let's just be safe. 100 uranium fuel cells, and we are good to go. Okay, as you can see, we have plenty of uranium fuel cells. They're all here, and we can start to grab them, put them here. Now let's take a closer look here. We are in space, and we are not always able to get more fuel cells, so we have to be smart about it. How do we manage our fuel cells efficiently? As you know, these reactors grab a fuel cell, burn it for 200 seconds, and then dispose of the used fuel cell. And then they grab another one. Doesn't matter what their temperature is, they're going to continuously do that forever and ever. But we do not want that. So here's a little circuit that says if the temperature is lower than 650 and if the fuel count is less than 1, then and only then you send this signal out. What does this signal do? This signal sets a filter on an inserter. See? Set filters. So the moment it's set to the signal that this sends out, which is the uranium fuel cell, it will pick up a fuel cell and puts it in the reactor, and then immediately it stops because now the fuel count is more than 1. Same with this one, and when they are done, they will pick up the used fuel cell from the reactor, put it here, it goes on this outer belt, gets here, and gets dumped into space. And that's it. That's all there is to it. After these two get to a temperature of 500 degrees Celsius, we will see steam being generated here. The steam will be transported down here to these 4 storage areas. And as you can see, water goes up from this direction. And the moment we have steam, we have power. Right now, the only power we have is the power we generate using those solar panels. Okay, we have steam. We have very hot steam being accumulated very fast, very, very fast. And this means we have a lot of power right now. Let's go and check out that power pole in space. Yes, 131 megawatts of power ready to go. These 16 solar panels can now retire. Everything good, everything's beautiful. What else is there and what else is lacking? So two things. First of all, how are we going to generate fuel? And also, how are we going to defend our spaceship? Or as we called it, laser ship. All right, let's go and take a look. Here is the final blueprint. And there's a reason I've not put this down first, because these lasers, they are very power hungry. If we put them down first, then everything comes to a stop because these solar panels cannot keep up. So I have to put them down last. And now when they are delivered, they'll be supplied with all the power they need. For the refueling section, again, very easy. They share the same water source with power, but the steam generation has a bit of higher priority, so we never run out of steam. Whatever is left is going to be turned into fuel. We're going to make the thruster fuel here and the oxidizer here, and we'll pass them along very nicely from the side of the spaceship to have maximum space available for our turbines. And the moment we have them, and yes, we do have them, start producing electric power by nuclear power plant. Amazing achievement. Awesome. So the moment we have them, they're going to be put in these tanks and they're going to find their way into these 5 mighty engines. Now, from here, it's just a waiting game, and it's just a waiting game for the first time before all these laser turrets get delivered. And then we will be able to test this awesome laser ship. Okay, so we are ready to go. A little bit of fuel inside the engines and almost no fuel in these storages. And we should be able to just go back and forth without stopping. So let's test this. Let's go to Volcanus, and hopefully the thing that happens is that we will hit that first shower of big asteroids before we run out of fuel. And at that point, we'll be able to just support us with whatever is available in space. So let's go. And here they come. So let's see our lasers engage. And yeah, we are using a lot of power, as you can see, especially when we engage. And then we're going to collect everything using those asteroid collectors. And these are the rubbish that we don't need. We have way too many metallic and carbonic asteroid chunks, but this is going to change down the road when we can convert them into ice. But for now, that's all good. You can also put some, oh, as you can see, it's busy. We can also put some speed modules inside these chemical plants if you wish to increase the speed of production, because you have the power for it. That said, let's go for a time lapse and see how long this platform can go back and forth between these two planets. Amazing. As you can see, we're going back and forth and we are not running out of fuel anymore. Amazing. So as you can see, we're just going back and forth between Novus and Volcanus, and we are not running out of fuel. The speed is a bit variable. It goes to 120, 100, 120, sometimes dips a little bit below 100, but it's decent. It can move without waiting. And in reality, you're not going to do this because you have to wait at each planet and get some cargo or drop some cargo, and that will be a good time for the spaceship to pick up some extra fuel. All right, that's it for this tutorial. If you like this, please click that like button and subscribe for more tutorials in the future. Also, if you have a request or an idea for another tutorial, let me know in the comments below and I'll be sure to take a look and maybe make a tutorial just for you. Thank you. Bye.